You've never been to a UT game at all?
I mean, a long time ago.
Oh,
I'm not gonna go to
boy.
the game by ops. Anyways, but you know,
your boy.
my ops. Those are my ops. You know what I'm saying? But hey, but the thing.
Why ain't ever spin a block on him, then?
Hey man, look. Heads gonna get busted in October 8th. You know.
But you gonna spin the block? You gonna spin the Red River block?
I'm gonna be in there.
You're
With
not
my
gonna be
with
in
my
the Red
gang.
River block.
But you know.
Welcome. This is kind of your regular scheduled programming for Keep It a Buck. We're shooting on a Monday. Typically we do this on Friday, but we got a couple things coming up this week. It's a big weekend for us. I got some stuff going down Friday, and then early Saturday morning we will be, if you couldn't tell, getting ourselves together for a big Saturday where College Game Day is going to come down here, and we're going to have a massive people here for the UT versus Alabama game. So we're going to be down there grabbing some content, enjoying ourselves, seeing what shenanigans we can get into and what these people think. I'm excited, honestly, depending on who we talk to, the takes we're going to get.
Yeah, and just the questions, like, you can get really creative with it. You can be like, I don't know, go up to a girl, Quinn Ewers or Hudson, who looks better? Like, you can just ask this random stuff.
Some stupid stuff.
You know what I mean? Get creative with it.
Who do you think would be a better quarterback, me or Hudson Card for the University of Texas?
And then you're just like, oh, me, I don't know. And be like, what are you gonna do tonight if Texas wins? Like, you can just get so creative with it, and it's gonna be so fun for me because all of us,
I might get pregnant
because we all because we all have different personalities.
Hey, yo.
And I think it's gonna be just dope just to get the content. I think this will be a video that'll do good on like the main channel, and it'll be also cool to like. Because I was telling people we need to do at least once a month collaborative videos with everyone on the main channel. So either challenges or stuff like this, or like we want to do like a Hot Ones video.
Yeah.
Like we need to just do those.
Very
so like everyone's still
IRL
building their
content.
own channels,
Yeah.
right? But like simultaneously, like we'll do like a IRL video that's longer maybe or whatever the case may be.
Keep it a buck, PCT and OPM.
Yeah, like everyone's just vibing.
Yeah.
Dorian might be in videos.
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna get some crazy content for this. For this one in particular, I'm excited because even after that, I mean, everybody's gonna, maybe not everybody, but even so, I know we'll go out to watch the game, enjoy it.
And the thing is,
my
like,
game's not till later that night, regardless. So
same.
It's not, what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's
I'm just gonna be going. We'll probably either stay out, go to a bar, watch the games, and day drink, or go home, watch the games at home. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. So it's gonna be chaotic. It's gonna already be busy anyways, just due to the fact of the game. But
and that's, I don't want to say that's what scares me. But oh yeah, no, it's gonna be a Zuvi. There is gonna be people there. It is going to be a very interesting and honestly pretty dope, I think, event. Obviously, tailgates don't have a time and a period. They just go off of when who plays. And we're gonna be at a tailgate with College Game Day here, and there's gonna be a lot of folks. There's gonna be a lot of folks. So
a lot of folks, a lot of signs, a lot of different schools too. I mean, think about so many people moved to Austin. There's gonna be a lot of people there that aren't Texas fans also. So it'll be cool to just see like all the signs. And I mean, I've never been to a College Game Day, so I'm really excited just to see like what that looks like, what it sounds like, what they do for that. So I'm excited. It'll be lit.
What colors are you wearing down there?
Gotta rock. I'm either gonna rock the OP white polo with the burnt orange OP, and I don't like Texas, but I'll wear that. And then Kat was saying I should maybe wear that Final Few Screaming Bevo throwback. That shirt is fire, but I just cannot wear that. So I might just if I do that, I might just have to wear that Final Few Alabama. I'm about to be like Crimson Tide and rocking around with that. You know how funny that'd be too? I'd be like,
you never been in Alabama a day in your life.
I know, but you think they would talk to me if I wore that?
Who?
The Texas fans.
Maybe. I mean, you're from Austin. Your opinionated media is based out of Austin.
They don't know this.
They're going to find out real quick.
Yeah, they are going to find this.
They're going to find out real quick.
Nah, I probably won't wear that though. I'll probably wear just a polo and just keep it easy.
Yeah, I was going to wear the black and the red polo. Just going some, something casual, something white.
Just tell you're a Texas Tech fan.
No, not at all. I'd go in some Baylor colors, but that's a different story.
Yeah, it's soon coming.
You know what I'm saying? So, but aside, again, That will be coming up this weekend. Like I said, we're shooting this on a Monday, but this is Labor Day, so aside from that, I would say how's your week, Cam? But because we shot on Friday, how has your weekend been?
My weekend's been good. Been watching football.
All weekend.
Just vibing.
All weekend.
Being smart, not doing nothing crazy. Went out to my parents' house, caught a vibe, you know.
Caught a vibe out in the hills.
Yeah, just chilled with them for a little bit. Then
I mean, that's
I came home and y'all were watching the game. We caught that tail end at Florida Utah game, and then
which was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, crazy. I was actually quarterbacks be selling. Man, Cam Rising sold through a pick, but you know it was all in all. It was good. My weekend's been good.
He was in a swamp.
Facts.
It gets sticky down there.
I was like, bro, I know it was humid, bro.
It gets sticky down there. They're not in Utah, dog. They're not in Utah. You know what I'm saying?
It looks miserable.
Absolutely. It's not the Holy War. They're not playing BYU. You're playing Florida in one of the most terrible stadiums to play in terms of noise. And, you know, obviously, it's the start of football season. People are going to be rowdy. And you kind of they got caught and got lost in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce.
You know, and they paid for it. Yeah, it was a big football weekend, I think, for everybody. We were just posted. I mean, I watched football all day Saturday. Went from watching it at the crib, watching, you know, bro, the UTSA Houston game was phenomenal.
Crazy.
I genuinely wish, and now that I know, you know, that was a game, had I gone back in retrospect and looked, I would have loved to gone to that game. That's a Texas game, and that was,
it was down the road.
That was a classic.
Yeah.
That was a classic. They were at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. And I would consider that a classic game already of this season. You go to triple overtime, you know what I'm saying? Literally a game of inches. They almost won it.
The North Carolinas.
Appalachian State game, that was a game of inches.
That ECU North Carolina State game.
A game of inches.
Missing field goals by a couple inches.
Bro, I am
insane. So there was some good.
LSU and Florida State that just happened yesterday, bro. It's
crazy, bro.
It's so many games that inches being played. Like you had your games that were won in abundance. Then you had your games that were won by inches. And so I think, man, I'm telling you, bro, it's already some classics that have been played. It's already some events we've seen and some, you know what I'm saying? It's out here. It's truly out here. Mm-hmm. So I'm just happy football's back. You know, best sport. You can argue with your mama.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's football season. Weather's about to start getting
football
colder.
Season, weather's about to change. About to be cozy.
Fur coat's about to start coming out.
On, you know what I'm saying? Worst Fest. Ooh.
I didn't even go last year.
We're going this year.
That was Friendsgiving, I think.
Yeah, because everybody was like, oh, I don't want to spend the
We
money.
popped out on the last day. It would have been the last day, and it was already
we're going.
9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, next year we're going. I don't care. Like y'all.
I mean, technically this year.
Yeah, this year we're going. Like, I'm going. I'm going to experience it. I need to at least go once.
No, I mean, I've never been. So
I've never been either.
I'm down with you.
So
you know what I'm saying? So, man, that's good, man. You know, like I said, it's it's not really too much to catch up on. We recorded an episode Friday, right? We shot our dreams are greater than reality joint, and then come literally 3-4 days later, had to make the adjustments and trying to switch up a couple
literally
things,
shot a couple. Literally, it was like 3 days. 4
bro,
days
literally, I think 3 or 4 days ago we shot because we were watching that Old Dominion Virginia Tech game, and then after that,
TCU Colorado.
Yeah, so we were like I said, it was a big football weekend for us. You didn't really catch too much.
It'll be like this
these
until
parts.
the Super Bowl. I mean, that's just how it is.
I mean, that's okay with me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm perfectly content with a little bit of football in my life, and not too much else to complain about.
Absolutely.
So. But yeah, man. I mean, look, like talk to me, Cam. You are actually leading the charge on music this week. I don't know if you knew that, but you know that now.
Yeah.
You always got to come locked and loaded and prepared. And I kind of want to wait to talk about the message a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The little definitions and all that fun stuff we got when it comes to today's topic. But speaking of music, man, hey, what do you got for us? What's the word?
Yeah, for me, if you guys don't know, Steve actually came out with me to Dallas. We saw the boy Mike out there. And then they had this dude performing named Charlie on a Friday.
Bro, the crazy thing was I didn't find out who he was until probably like 3 or 4 days after.
The concert?
Yeah, he never announced his name. He just popped up and started singing.
I had to look online or something.
I found out who Fresco Trey was before him just because Fresco Trey said his name and was handing out promotional cards. Homeboy just came out and just started singing.
Bro, early too, because it wasn't people were still getting ranch waters. I think I was dead ass still talking to Kilmer. Just chopping it up with him, and like people were coming out. That boy
just
he came out like a white.
Him and Trey Fresco both came out in wife beaters.
Yeah,
I was
he had
like,
on
bro,
he had on like khakis.
Yeah,
and then he had on like, and obviously if you're not a fan, when we get these opinionated hats going, gonna be fire. But if you're not a fan of that SR Stevenson Ranch hat club,
He did have an SR hat on.
Yeah, he had an SR hat on, but it was like a flamingo like pink, and it was like, and the brim was like gold, so fire.
Yeah.
And it was like a faded like almost like a suede wash on the top.
Yeah,
and he was
because you
rocking
had
that.
on the cream with the pink.
Yeah, I had on the cream with the
SR,
pink.
right?
Yeah, SR.
Yeah, that boy was tough.
I need more of those for
That
sure.
boy was tough.
But yeah, he had on that on and it was going crazy, and I was like, damn, I wanted to check out his music, and I ended up checking out his music, and I was probably listening to him for a solid 2 weeks after the concert, just because it was new. He had a little EP that came out, and it's called
On a Friday?
it's called Charlie on a Friday. I think it's literally called Charlie on a Friday.
I thought it was called On a Friday.
Let me see. Yeah, it's called On a Friday.
On a
Charlie
Friday.
on a Friday. And I mean, he even got me saying Cameron on a Thursday.
He got me saying Rue on a Rue's day.
Ooh, wow. Wow.
Because every day is Rue day, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, my goodness. But yeah, we're going to play the song Cheers to kind of kick off the football season and, you know, kick off some transitional periods in our life.
Absolutely,
play
man.
Cheers by
Shout
Charlie
out
on
to
a Friday.
everybody making a transition right now and investing into something that's bigger than themselves. We've talked about it now for a while and kind of what we're going to do. And a couple of my people and a couple of our people have been taking steps now to kind of get into a new stage in their life. So, you know, if you're taking a leap of faith or if you're, you know what I'm saying, embracing something new, man, this joint is for you, man. That's
There it is. Cheers, Charlie on a Friday.
So, Cam, earlier this week, you had sent me a podcast, a specific one. You already know which one I'm talking about, the Y&K by our boy Mike. And the topic was solitude, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
And it was pretty dope because, you know, typically he shoots it with Kilmer, his main videographer,
yeah.
his producer, his go-to guy, his right-hand man.
Yeah.
And this one, he was shooting, you know, by himself out in the middle of Montana, just catching some alone time and working on some things. Post his tour, which he finalized, I want to say like a month ago. He finished the third leg.
Yeah.
So, and you know, he had a bar in there, man. I was watching it. He had this bar he got off where he was talking about how solitude is sometimes, you know, a necessary thing because, you know, after getting caught up in, you know, everything that you go through within the amount of a tour, you know, it's a lot of socializing, it's a lot of functioning, it's a lot of, you know, obviously performing,
Access
meeting
to
people.
stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when you're the talent or the talk of the day.
You know,
like,
the talk of the town and everything.
you know, you just got to have access to whatever.
You naturally have that spot. I mean, it's his tour,
Yeah.
rightfully so. So he's going to be the talk of it. He's going to be the main attraction. Everybody's going to come out to see him and support and show love. But, you know, he felt like he was in a period to where he needed to kind of get away and take some time off to coast into maybe a period of being alone and tapping back into what he thought was going to help his craft become the best, at least for what it's supposed to be in this moment in this time. So, all things considered, right? He goes into this period where he's, you know, alone, working, just wanting to be in a place where he can simply focus on, you know, the music, right? And the content and what he wants to do and what he wants to put out. I mean, I get it. Truly. He's not lying. I mean, a lot of the time, I think we do overload ourselves with, you know, going out. And I don't mean going out like, you know, going out. But I mean going out just as in, you know, spending a lot of time with our loved ones and our friends and running errands and working and being about. And, you know, you naturally run your meter down. So what do? You maybe spend some time with yourself. You know, maybe get a little bit of isolation, and maybe catch a vibe alone and just do things that make yourself happy, right?
Yeah.
And bring yourself fulfillment. But after a certain point, I feel like there's a fine line between what is going to naturally be good for you and then what is going to hurt you. You know, kind of putting yourself in solitude and then having that transition over to being something that's solitary. You get what I'm saying? And that transition can be real sticky if, depending on circumstances and what you're trying to achieve, you know, if you're not careful, you can easily put yourself in a position of solitary when what you're truly looking for was a position of growth and solitude. So, I mean, kind of just cutting it plain and dry, when you think of, catching your own mind of solitude and your own peace, like where do you envision yourself to be?
Man, for me, solitude and peace for me is, I mean, a lot of things. I mean, I feel like it'll be comfortability within myself, within who's around me, my corner, my, partners in life, my partners in business, my family orientations, just being kind of present and fully aware in that moment. I think that's one of the most important things for me. Just kind of being stable with it. Let me see. I'm about to look up. Yeah, solitude. Yeah, and just being able to, with the self belief of just being able to be alone, being present. A lot of people can't do that.
Why do you think that is? I think I want to hang on that a bit. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think a lot of people can't be alone just because they never have had to, or they've never been really truly forced to be alone and kind of, you know, evaluate things in their own light, see it for really what it is. And I think that's something everybody should go through. It's a good life skill. I mean, there's going to be times where you might, lose a loved one, or someone might pass away, or you might be in a long-term relationship and things don't work out, or people, grow out of love and want to do other things.
That's when
And you gotta kind of, and the thing is, I mean, a lot of times people take stuff personal, maybe that, or they're like mad at the world, or, asking, other energies or higher powers why is this person being taken away from me, or why am I losing this job, or why can't I get stuff accomplished in the way I want it to, right? But I feel like when you have that solitude and you can be present and alone, you can kind of see things for what they are, and then it make you really evaluate stuff. It's like, I'm healthy, I'm alive. You gotta look at the positives and stuff, because I mean,
That you do.
like we said, there's gonna be times where you're alone, and there's people that, for me specifically, like, I do like to be alone sometimes. Like, it's nice to kind of just be able to have that reflect, have no outside sources, people, anything kind of interfering with your thoughts, and kind of being able to express that within yourself. So it's definitely like like I said, it's a skill. I feel like it's hard to master. Like, it's hard for people to be alone. There's also, once you master it, I feel like it's good to like know when it's like, yeah, I can be alone and I'm okay with that. Like, sometimes it's like being comfortable with your peace, and I think everybody needs to learn that.
I think
So,
that's an important point. You hear that, being comfortable within your own persons. When you transition from a a relationship, a place, a experience, and you feel kind of those feelings of, or that sensation of being alone, or not having those around you, or not being comforted, and you get that feeling of solitude. The good thing about that is that you have the ability to understand a little bit more about yourself, and the perception of what is going to push you if you don't have nobody, and what's going to grow you if you don't have accountability, and what's going to enlighten you if you don't have a mentor or a teacher. You have the ability to basically learn more about yourself, and about the things that may be helping you, the things
yeah,
that may be harming you. And the good thing about solitude is that it puts you in a peace and in a place to where you can understand being alone, or being remote, right? Because I think the biggest thing is that when people think about solitude, they think about being on your own. They think about spending time with oneself and getting to know oneself and loving oneself. And, maybe you could get a little bit stereotypical and a little bit fancy with it. But the big thing is that, you got to think about appreciating your own persons, being your biggest critic, but in the same sense, being your biggest appreciator, right?
absolutely.
It's a period of reflectiveness. It's a period of tranquilization, because you're finding out more about yourself. But the biggest thing is not to beat yourself up. It's to learn how to understand, how to recalibrate, and understand what is going to put you in a better position than you previously were.
Absolutely.
However, the big thing within that is not allowing that moment to then transform into what I would call solitary. Let's think of something stereotypical. Solitary confinement, right? Nowadays, used as a form of punishment in, the prison system. Somebody acts up, somebody's out of line, you have a high-risk prisoner, somebody who's a threat. They put them in solitary confinement. And what that is just a big room in a big block where you're completely alone. nobody else around you. You get checked on once a day. Typically, solitary gets you 1 hour of outside, 23 hours inside of an empty prison cell with just you, yourself, and your thoughts. And again, you get your 1 hour of rec, you get your little meal served inside. It's a very kind of mundane way of living life, but it's used as a form of punishment. You're not going to get any socialization. You're not going to get any activities. You're going to get an hour of rec time, and then the next 23 hours you're going to spend inside the cell. So everything you need to do, better do it at once, because after that, bud, you're not getting out. Now you trace that back to medieval times, and it was used as a form of torture. You know what I'm saying? They would keep you in complete solitary from your loved ones if you were a political prisoner, taking you alone and keeping you in an environment where you didn't know your surroundings or anything going on. You don't know the person that's interrogating you or maybe keeping you hostage, right? Same thing with war criminals. Solitary has been used in a plethora of different manners. Typically it's torture as punishment, right? As a form of manipulation. Because after a while, you're on your own. Drive some people a little, off the walls. Rightfully so. Which is, again, with today being, the point of solitary versus solitude or whatever it may be, bro, you have to look at it like, when you're in the position of being alone, are you in a place of reflectiveness and embracing that and learning that's to grow? Or is that eventually turning over to now you're becoming too critical of yourself? You don't want to be around people because you don't want them to see your flaws. You don't want to learn anything new. You don't want to be in an environment of growth. You kind of just want to be on your own. And at the end of the day, taxing yourself because you're not taking the time to grow around others. Bro, that's kind of a rock and a hard place. Because when does enough become enough? But at the same time, how do you know you've learned if you're not understanding and, to your point, falling in compliance with yourself and understanding what's going to help you grow and what's going to help you not to be in a place of depression and kind of bleakness.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough cookie to swallow. Like, you have to be okay with it. You have to be present with it. I mean, I think it's just really
being present. Ooh,
really, you just gotta know.
Dropping bars.
Right? You just gotta be present.
Let folks know.
You can't be. There's, like I said, there's gonna be a time and a place where you're gonna really know how to have that solitude and really be okay with a situation or being alone or a scenario.
Being able to find serenity within that.
I think COVID really taught us a lot with that too.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that up. A lot
of people, couldn't do their typical thing, and that could be, going, like for us, like going to the gym and like getting that public surrounding, being around other individuals
that are trying to grind as well.
Exactly. Or just people that, very social. They want to go out, go do stuff, go to the club, go to the bars, or even just be social in other environments.
See their friends.
Even the aspect of going to the grocery store. I mean, just missing things like that. It's like, dang, I miss going to the grocery store and just being able to, just walk down the aisle, just kind of just people watch.
Going,
see,
I'm saying walking around downtown, being with places.
Exactly. So COVID, I feel like, really taught us that. And then there was I feel like for human interaction, we found other ways to deal with the solitude, as in we would get, Warzone was on and popping.
Oh, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I already dealt with solitude back when I was growing up, because unlike these other folks, I actually played Xbox Live, the 360 and all that. Yeah, I got my, now, you know what I'm saying? I could be alone, but that's all right. I don't gotta be completely alone. I could.
You know on the Xbox, people were Zooming, FaceTiming.
They made a lot of adjustments.
I think that's also too when a lot of podcasts really started going off.
Was in COVID?
Yeah, because everyone was home, and like people, especially for Mike, he says all the time, he was like, we couldn't make music. Well, we could make music, but we couldn't like go on tour. We couldn't interact. We couldn't like perform and stuff. So he's like, well, that's when me and Kilmer started the podcast, because it was one of those, we wanted to still connect with the fans on a personal level.
Absolutely.
And then like it just kind of took off, and the people, it was cool to see people finding other ways to
other avenues.
Yeah, and just to cope with like being alone. So I'm alone. I'm gonna figure out a way to not be alone.
Yeah, to readjust.
And go talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
And do it in a different way. So COVID, I think, was a really big help. I mean, a lot of people got animals during COVID because they were alone.
Yeah.
So
they couldn't deal with that.
So it's interesting to see like.
So I think a pretty interesting thing when you look at the definitions of solitude and solitary is solitary says that it's the living or going alone or without companions and being saddened by isolation. That's a tough word, saddened, right? Because that basically means you being alone literally makes you like depressed. Like
Yeah.
it gives you an emotion of, I don't want to say utter despair, but it makes you feel, less than adequate. You're sad. You're the fact you're alone makes you completely, what's the word I can use here? Being alone puts you at unease, right? It makes you restless. It makes you feel as in you're less than what you should be. It's a lot of different things you can describe that. But to say saddened by isolation, to say you're at a point of distress because you're alone, that's tough, bro. And then you look at solitude and it says the quality or state of being alone or removed from society or a lonely place. I mean, that just means alone. That's the quality of being alone or remote, being on your own, being away. Not necessarily an emotion behind that, but just the aspect of, okay, I'm on my own. That's all right. It's cool.
Exactly.
And I think it's a fine line because, as humans, I do believe we do have meters, right? We do have limits. We do have tolerances. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not perfect. Only so much can be taken before you're either going to go off a cliff mentally, physically, spiritually. It's a lot of things that may break you. Each to all their own. Everybody has their own limits. But that's such a big thing because if you think about it, we can only take so much before one thing may be the breaking point, or one thing may be the thing that makes us, kind of relapse back into that solitary. So the best way I think to look at this, and funny enough, that I was in church praising the Lord this past Sunday, and my pastor brought up a Bible verse talking about, it's better to have a partner than to go at it alone, share the work, share the wealth, and if one falls down, the other helps, but if there's no one to help, tough. Right? This is Ecclesiastes 4:9-12. Two in a bed warm each other, alone you shiver all night. By yourself you're unprotected. With a friend you can face the worst. Can you round up to a third? A three-stranded rope isn't easily snapped. And that's the Message version. So that typically breaks it down into the most bare bones and kind of contemporary translation. Point of all that being is that within solidarity, you're losing the aspect of having others to keep you accountable and having others to remind you of the place you should be. A lot of the time, being alone can be your own worst enemy because if you don't have the right talk coming from yourself, all you're doing is just harming yourself more and more. You know what I'm saying? If you can't handle being alone, if you can't learn to be alone, then what you're going to do when you are alone is do everything you're supposed to do backwards. You're not going to appreciate what it means to be alone. You're not going to appreciate who you are as a person. You're not going to find out about anything about yourself, and you're not going to take anything away from the experience other than hurting yourself because you're not comfortable where you're at. And that sucks because you're spending all that time and all that investment and all of that effort into trying to understand who you are outside of the noise, outside of the mess, outside of the day-to-day activities. Something that COVID forced a lot of us to do, working from home and working remote and being shut off from the entirety of the world aside from social media. We weren't making face-to-face contact with people. We weren't hugging nobody. We weren't dapping nobody up. We weren't giving nobody no kisses or cuddling or, playing no ball or working out with nobody. Or we weren't doing any, bro, we was literally in the crib. We was chilling.
Yeah.
We was kicking it.
Yeah.
That's it. We were not doing nothing.
Nothing.
And at that moment, a lot of people really either found out who they were as individuals, or they honestly folded to the fact that they weren't going to be able to see anybody for a grip of time. And it did a lot more damage than it did help.
Absolutely.
And that sucks. Because if you could still, like for me personally, I'm a social bird. If you don't know me by now, I'm a big social butterfly. Seeing me alone sometimes is good. Don't get me wrong. I like renovating myself and being able to, reestablish my social media and being allowed to grow as an individual. I'm okay with who I am. Am I alone? You know what I'm saying? Me being in my own box and in solitude. But for a certain period of time, if you don't see me with anybody, I guarantee you something is wrong with me. I know myself way too well for that. I'm a social butterfly, whatever the hell they call it. Like I like talking to people. I like meeting new people. I like making different connections because it's honestly what drives me, right? It helps me to grow. It helps me to understand. The experience has always been my best teacher, as I feel it is with a lot of others. But for me personally, bro, no, communication and being an outgoing individual are just two of my things.
Yeah.
So if for an extended period of time I'm ever out of that, I really start asking questions. So when COVID hit, and I was working, but I was working from home, and I wasn't really doing anything, and I was seeing the same people every day, which was just my 2 roommates at the time, or 3 roommates. Shout out Lexi and Matt and Devin. But seeing them every day and not really seeing nobody and not really spending time with anybody and not really doing, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, like for a little bit it was tough because I didn't understand a lot about myself.
Yeah.
And so I was forced to kind of be in a box and be like, yo, who are you? What are you
For real,
doing?
though. Yeah.
What are your values? What are you sticking true to? Do you really like that TV show, or are you just watching it to pass some time? You know what I'm saying?
Well.
Do you really like 2K, or are you playing it because your boys are playing it? You know what I mean?
Facts.
Do you really like her picture? Or are you? Never mind. Look, point being is that, you know what I'm saying? You got caught up in a lot of nonsense just because of that point in time of where you were at. You weren't really focused or paying attention on anything.
You're just finding things to pass time.
And that's what became solitude,
Yeah.
or solitary. Mm-hmm. You were just kind of in the mix and in the motion. Okay, when can I get to this next day? Okay, what's gonna pass the time quickly? What's gonna, bro? You were just looking to get out of there and kind of keep it moving. And once that time started going slower and slower, bro, what were you supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I personally couldn't tell you what it takes for everybody to, like, what the specific steps are per individual. Because I think the biggest thing as humans that we begin to learn is that over time, once you understand yourself and once you understand not being complacent, but more or less like what works best for yourself, you know, like you begin to understand, how can I overcome these things that are ailing myself or that are limiting myself, which is one of the best things about having solitude. You know what I'm saying? Because you're able to get back to the basics, get back to what's you, get back to what makes you grow and what makes you tick and what helps you to learn. Not just a matter of, I'm going to do this just to do this because I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
But doing this is genuinely going to help me grow.
Absolutely. Man, you couldn't have said it any better yourself. I mean, it kind of takes you back to a place of just like, damn, what have I done when I've been alone to kind of, feel that attention or fill that void that I wasn't receiving from the interaction with someone else or doing something with someone else. So kind of takes you back and kind of makes you think and reflect on things like that. And now, I mean, you look at the age and growth of that. That was COVID essentially almost 3 years ago.
And getting to that point.
And, now it's just like, you're just like, damn, a lot of reflections changed. As you see, you can tell like a lot of, like from a perception, a lot of people are still trying to make up for lost time essentially. But the time was never really lost. I feel like that was the time that we needed. I think COVID essentially really was just like a reminder to society that, we're not perfect as humans. We're not invincible. A virus can essentially stop everything. And that's what it did. And
every single thing.
And I think it makes people be like more present at the time. I was just talking to my friends and stuff, and I was just like, bro, it's been super cool about the group that we started this year. Just for the simple fact of we're all here, we're all very present, and then like we're obviously shooting all this content now.
Yeah.
And seeing it come to fruition, seeing that we have all these memory banks. I mean, I get on YouTube sometimes, go to the P&A channel, and I just shuffle it for the watch hours, because it's hard over here. But I'll shuffle it for the watch hours.
4K, bro. I'll tell you what.
And I'll check out a video that popped up, and I'm like, I wonder what it's on right now. And I'll just click, and it'll be all on an old ass podcast running, like, when we were hanging out with, like doing podcasts with, like, for example, I think Kelly was on, and then like we'll go back and then I'll watch it, and it's like a podcast of me and Carlos at my parents' house or at his parents' house.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's cool to just see that there's like a catalog built up and just thinking about where we were.
Going back to 2 years ago, yeah.
And
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
It just gets me excited too, because I'm just like, damn, I'm ready for when we get a spot, a studio to record at. We just got a TV and we're just running everybody's channels like in the background. So all day you just see that on the TV. So it's super cool to just see like because I honestly too, like when we started the podcast right on the cusp of COVID, and then just seeing like,
I'm about to say, y'all was getting your episodes off right before.
Yeah, we had started in January, and COVID hit like March or April. So we had already been like starting, but it was more so the fact of just like, damn, we're starting this, COVID hits, no excuse really. We're still finding ways to shoot, things like that. We're
Which
finding
y'all
ways to
work.
connect,
Yeah.
and not be alone, essentially. And even in times where we're alone, that's when Warzone came out, so everybody, excuse me, was on PCs gaming a lot. That's when I got my PC.
2K21 had just came out. It was
Yeah,
a beautiful time. It was a terrible time, but
man,
it was a
the
beautiful
old
time.
Verdansk map, beautiful.
Yeah, when they first released Warzone
I don't
on
know
Modern
how.
Warfare.
Yeah, I don't know like why we took it for granted. Like we were just going crazy, dropping
Oh, bro,
20s.
because we
We
could
just
play.
played it too much.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah,
COVID. I mean,
yeah,
shout out to Activision because they definitely did what they were supposed to do in that time.
yeah.
Verdansk held it down for all of COVID.
Yeah, it was,
All of
bro.
COVID.
It was so fun. Like we were talking about, like hopefully they drop the map right before the Modern Warfare 2. And the thing is, I don't even play Call of Duty, but I'll be on that new one though. Just
Oh,
so you know.
absolutely, bro.
But
Come
yeah,
on
I
now.
mean, it's been good, man.
I don't want to see my no hardcore search and destroy. I get active, dude. Makes you do the
Solitude
dash.
is this, man. Just being able to be alone, be present. I mean, that's why I like going to the gym so much by myself. Personally, I'm not like really too big. I used to be kind of big on like working out with people, but now lately, I've been like
I feel that
I've been
because
vibing by myself. Because when you work out with someone, it's like one, you're probably talking to them, which is fine. Two, you're not really listening to your music because you're either talking to them or like you're just like, oh, I don't even really feel like listening to music because I'm talking to them. And you listen to like the gym music and the environment. And like just for me,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna fall to the gym
Yeah.
music. I always got. I got the.
Yeah.
I put my AirPods in transparent mode and get cracking. But I'm not gonna listen to none of that. Not.
But
You know what
going
I'm
to, I don't
saying?
know, going to the gym by myself that's been like where I've been finding like
That's
a lot
your
of my peace.
solitude.
Yeah, bro, because I'm just like I'm by myself. I can go at my pace. I can do what I want to do in here. I could go by my programming, and then like that I go to the sauna a lot. So spending that 10 to 20 minutes in the sauna, hot as hell in there. But I like to go in there now with like no headphones, go in there and just sit there and just think, like just reflect on what's
Listen
going
to
on.
your thoughts and
Yeah,
everything.
just reflect what's going on, things like that, and then because I mean, like at the end of the day, a lot of that for me. That's like one of the few times I get to kind of be by myself, not working with people, not being with my friends, not doing the pod and stuff. That's like one of the few moments I'm just like very like
Cam
to
can be
myself.
Cam in his
Yeah,
moment.
exactly.
Yeah, bro.
So
That's
I
a
really
big deal.
like, appreciate that time.
The beautiful thing about, again, solitude is the fact that it reminds us of who we are and the things we like.
Mm-hmm.
As we get older, we become numb to the experiences. One or two things happens. Let me preface it by saying that one or two things happen. We either become numb to the experience that we love that help us to build us as independent individuals, or we find out new things about ourselves that we love when it comes to solitude. So for you, that could be going to the gym. But what you can also find out is you may like doing other things by yourself. Waking up to a morning of college football with a cup of coffee in my hand is a great morning of solitude. Because, I could chop it up with you. We may text and be like, hey, bro, you watching the game? But I can just grow into a Saturday morning knowing that, dang, it's football playing. The weather's cold. I might pop out a fur coat later. Not for anybody, but just for my own self, right? You know what I'm saying? And then be able to enjoy a nice fall morning with a cup of coffee and football going. And that's a good period of solitude. But another great period of solitude is me when I'm journaling or reading. It's a point of self-reflection. It's a point of, looking at where I'm at and analyzing how I can grow, what I learned, what I experienced, and where I can move forward. Because those are points and periods where I'm by myself. This is what I see from my own eyes. This is how I felt with this situation. This is what, I saw in this moment where I lacked and where I can grow. That's where solitude becomes important. But then, to that point, staying within that too much, you lose the essence of accountability, right? You lose the essence of, your friends telling you, how you been, where you been at, how are things going, how, what's been going on in your life. You lose the ability to have multiple hands in a matter of work. Think about it like this, right? If one of us were to drop from the family and what we do, we would lose a lot of traction because that one person carries a lot of weight. If we lost you with the production of Keep It a Buck, it would be hard to readjust.
Yeah, and this is hard. It's just at the end of the day, like you can always adjust and replace people, but it don't hit the same.
And bro, if
It
you
just
lost
don't.
me, if
Yeah,
you
it
lost
just doesn't.
Carlos, if you lost CJ, if you lost Zach, Alex, Zay, any one of the members is important. Which solitude is good if they need alone time or perspective time or time to reflect and grow, absolutely. But when it becomes solitary and they remove themselves, that leaves to the other folks to try and compensate. And sometimes, to your point, bro, it's nowhere near the same as it once was. at all. Think about it within terms of, a colony of ants. If even a small pillar of that community goes down, a small fraction, the rest of that colony is gonna suffer, right? Lions, when they're hunting in prides and in packs for their meals, one lion goes down, that is a big, 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 just L.
Yeah.
Because now they lose an asset.
Yeah.
They lose somebody who's capable of going to help them find food, to
Yeah.
hunt the food, to
Yeah.
gather. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different aspects you can let it to. If you lose one piece of any sort of community or group, you're lacking now in terms of what you guys can fully do together as a unit. So that's why, it's important. Like every piece of a car needs maintenance. So that's why it's important to service every piece. Just with every person, it needs solitude. Every part of a car needs maintenance.
Yeah.
We need our own form of maintenance. But if we don't turn that around and now reflect that and use that, if we do too much or do too little, and we get caught up in our own moment, and all of a sudden now we're floating adrift and everything else is over there while we're over here, what are we doing for ourselves? We're just getting lost. And not in anything good, but our thoughts and in the sauce. And as a wise man once said, if you get lost in the sauce, well, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Too much dip on your chip.
Yeah, you get too much dip on your chip. You know what I'm saying? You get too much, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, I was going to drop a bar and then I completely forgot it. You know what I'm saying? If you drive too far in your car, you know what I'm saying? If you take too deep of a dive off the board, if you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you draw too much out the bank account, what happens?
Hey.
You go negative.
Exactly.
You don't do anything right for yourself. But ultimately, you just hurt yourself. That's what it is. I beg everybody to get some alone time and to find out who you are and to consistently do that, because as life grows, we change. We evolution. We evolutionize.
Evolutionize.
Yeah. Okay. We evolutionize, right?
Yeah,
we
yeah.
grow as we learn new things
Yeah.
about ourselves, and we experience different things, and we learn new things, and it's a lot of things, just things in general. You know what I mean? We experience a lot of different opportunities and obstacles. I already said opportunities. We go through so much that eventually we're going to change. And if we don't take the time to analyze that change and how it affects us, we're going to hurt ourselves because we just keep going until we crash into solitary. But if we take the time to get into solitude, reflect, and then move on to that next play mentality, we can grow each time. But it's that fine line, bro. You can't just sit there and keep running back and forth like, okay, this happened, now I got to go and be alone. Oh, shoot, I've been alone for too long. Now I got to go back. Dang, I've been taking on so much at once. Now I got to go and be alone again so I can, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn to divide. That hour and a half you be working out, if that's your period of solitude 4 or 5 days out the week, then embrace that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's Cam's time.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's Cam's time to reflect.
It's important too.
In every aspect. So again, I know that was a lot, but I encourage everybody, if you don't have that time, to make that time for yourself. Understand where you can learn and you can grow as an individual, but don't let that be an excuse to fall off and to completely disconnect what you end up doing. Especially if you're a part of a community, you start hurting other members within that community. You start taking away from everything you've invested into personally and everything you've put love and time into. And once you take that away, man, you're just doing monumental damage to yourself. And again, at the end of the day, it's okay to get a break. It's okay to take a second to, alleviate yourself from the things that you consume yourself with, but don't alleviate yourself from the responsibility you owe to you to grow as a person and to learn and to make the right decisions, because that never ends. But it's absolutely okay to take a break from everything that's going on around you and, naturally take a break.
Yeah.
Get a moment. Relax.
Absolutely.
Hang 10, brother. You know what I'm saying?
You ready?
Catch a vibe.
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Hey, buy a better speaker. How about that one?
Hey, prove it.
What do you mean by that?
Oh man, hit it with Alex. Oi. That's what Alex be doing.
You know what I'm saying? hey, yo, hold the roux. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But aside from that, man, like I said, make sure you enjoy the time you spend with yourself. But don't indulge yourself in too much of it, because what you'll begin to realize is that anything can happen. And that's why we have loved ones around us. That's why there was multiple people put on this earth, Cam, because we were never intended to be created alone. Whatever belief system you have, just know that regardless, at the end of the day, there is multiple people on this earth for a reason. And that's because you're not meant to be alone. You're meant to be surrounded by others to uplift you and to make you a better person. But It is okay to understand who you are.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Man, you got any closing thoughts? What would you tell the folks about being your own person and taking the time to enjoy that?
I would just say everyone's pace is, at their own. Don't try and do something that's out of your character or out of your element just because you see other people doing it in society, your friends, your family, things like that. That could be with, jobs, opportunities, career growth opportunities. You might see someone get in a house. You're like, damn, I got to get in a house fast like that too.
Oh, man.
Or like you might see someone like getting a nice car. Damn, I got to get a nice whip too. Or people going on these trips. Damn, I got to go somewhere too. Or people getting married early, things like that. They might not even be ready. So like you got to realize everyone's perception on life is different. Like don't rush anything. What's meant for you is going to come to you. So don't ever.
I'm in Entourage right now.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm back here. Just
don't ever, don't ever try and step out your element just to appease the masses. Like you got your own path. Everyone has their own path. Everyone's gonna do stuff at their own terms. And timing is everything. You know what I mean? You might think you're ready to get a house, and then something might come up. You might get an opportunity somewhere else, and you're like, damn, I'm glad I didn't buy a house here.
And sometimes you can't even trust yourself. Don't get me wrong. Like you want to trust your intuition, but sometimes you generally can't trust. You have a selfish nature to you. Which is why being in solitude also does matter, because you gotta understand this is.
Yeah, and you gotta realize. I mean, even for me, I tell people all the time, like, look, I'm trying to grind and get to where I need this media company and this pod and everything we got entailed, and that's to be at a place where I'm comfortable with it, to where if I gotta take a step back to handle my own personal life, whatever I need to get accomplished in that, then I can do it. You obviously can balance both, but for right now, it's like
you can.
You gotta prioritize some stuff more than the other.
And you have to find the balance in that same part too. While you give some things priority, you also find the balance between understanding how much of yourself you can give to something, and then allocating the rest to the right reasons and the right resources. So, bro, that's kind of how you hit the nail on the head, bro. That's a big thing, is allocating your time to the right things, giving time to yourself, but not giving too much time to yourself, not being your biggest enemy, and not allowing, like I said, solitude to turn into solitary, in terms of just, like I said, bro, don't get selfish. Be selfless, but don't be selfish, because you can give your time to others, but you can also give your time to yourself. And that doesn't have to be in a manner that's, ugly to those around you, or even to your own self. It could be respectful to you and who you are and the things you love, but understand that the time is needed, man. You got to recalibrate sometimes. You got to relock, reload, and refocus. And by all means, that, what I'm saying, we all need it. When there's nobody that's on this earth that's not human, and if they are, I'm sure they'll show themselves sooner or later. So hey, it is what it is. All that being said, man, hey, I got a banger today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I saw you had to get a little bit of Charlie on a Friday, even though it's a Monday. We gotta keep it a buck on a Monday. But what I have for you today is a little bit of a, what I'm saying? It's an unapologetically myself kind of tune. It's a, what I'm saying? It's a ting where you know what I'm saying? You take maybe pride or a little bit of what I'm saying? A little bit of glee and being who you are as an individual. All things aside, Cam, I'm not gonna lie to you. This track actually comes from one of my favorite albums of all time. I think it's a good little anthem to remind folks, any doubters, any haters, right? Any naysayers, you know what I'm saying? Just be you, right? Just be glad to be you. Be proud to be you. Don't take pride in it, but like I said, man, stand up for what you love and what you care about, and allow all the other stuff to kind of come and go, big dog. And you know what I'm saying? Everything will fall into place the way it's meant to be. I present to you Sorry Not Sorry by Bryson Tiller off his debut album, Trap Soul.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I miss Bryson Tiller. He said he's dropping an album.
That shit
soon.
hit different.
But Trap Soul, I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of I had a lot of solitude I spent with trap song. I had a lot of solitude. You know how many nights don't played on my radio and on my auxiliary? You know how many nights Exchange play on my radio and my auxiliary? You know how many nights?
Exchange it for me. Ah. Exchange.
I feel like you had a lot of nights of solitude with Exchange too, didn't you?
Yeah. Or I was listening to that Little Dirk, you know. Remember getting Mickey D's in that Nissan? That was talking about that Nissan Altima getting Mickey D's. I was like, yeah, I've been there before.
You don't know
But I
about
wasn't
it.
in the Altima though.
I'm about to say you don't know
I was
about
in
that.
the,
I was in the Altima.
I was in the 320. I was in the
Altima.
328i silver. That got stolen.
I was in it. Look, bro. I was in the Altima. I was in the '09 Altima, the 4-door joint. You know what I'm saying? The 4-cylinder,
Yeah,
the V4.
Y'all got that Oreo Blitz from Sonic, and you know what I'm saying? You were like, damn, I only have enough for one. We can share it. That's them college days hit different.
Nah, not at all. We didn't. You know what's crazy is we had a Sonic, but the spot in our little humble city. Wax had she? Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
We took you to Hibachi, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we took him to Hibachi.
Yeah, shit was good.
Yeah, shout out to Goo, man. My boys actually won the first game of their season against Louisiana College this past Saturday.
Okay,
so
we played this weekend.
we shut them out 27-0, man.
Okay.
I was excited for my boys. Funny enough, I still got some people that are on that team right now. So
Same. Crazy.
I'm excited for them because, like I said, they my senior year, man, we had a year, and everybody that was there knows. But they did really good things after that, and they've just proceeded to gone up. Greg Ellis, funny enough, the former defensive end for the Cowboys, I think like 2006 comeback player of the year. He's our head coach now.
Oh wow.
So he led us to our first W. So shout out to Coach Ellis and what he's doing with the program, man. Like I said, never would have thought. Like, it's crazy to me that a former Cowboy comes to be the head coach of the college I went to play football for, and I'm kind of,
You just never know.
I'm kind of jealous, bro, because that would have been, dope. Because I remember watching him play, but I'm grateful for the coaches I had and everything. But shout out to those Sagu boys, man. That boy Cam went to Hibachi, bro. Man, we did have a lot of spots there.
Shit was good, bro.
I'm telling you, bro, that was a
Yes.
spot. Whataburger was obviously the spot, but that's always the spot. Waffle House. We had, all there was to do in that terrible town was to get food. God bless. But like I said, it was also a phenomenal town. So all things aside though, Cam, you know what I'm saying? This was a good one. This was one that I felt like, it's tough sometimes. People try to find that fine line between being on your own and then not getting too consumed by being alone. And if you don't know the fine line between it, bro, I mean, let's keep it a buck here, dog. All you're going to do is end up running in circles about how you want to grow. And every step you take, you may doubt. But, sometimes it's a leap of faith and it's also the accountability of others. But it's also coming back to, to your roots, to where everything started and where it came from, and allowing yourself to grow as an individual.
Absolutely.
So, man, you got any closing remarks or anything? You know what I'm saying? What do we have coming up aside from?
That's it. We might go to Lubbock too.
That's the end of the month, right?
Yeah, you talking about just like stuff like that?
And, I guess I don't know anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're coming up. We got LOC is getting worked on. We got tailgate this weekend. Might go to Lubbock here soon. And then we're gonna start probably working on some merch ideas for the fall. Get some stuff rolling out.
October is coming.
So hopefully have some stuff rolling out in October.
You know what I'm saying? The September is here, but October is coming. I'm not gonna lie to you. The state fair is coming back. I'm a big state fair guy. I've gone the last 2 years, and I will tell you. Well, I went 2019, then COVID happened, and then I went last year, and I have never been disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll definitely pop up and make an appearance out there, man. That food is phenomenal. That experience is great. Drinks phenomenal. Rides are great. Like I said, bro, I'm a big fair guy. I'm a big outdoorsy guy, and with the fall coming, bro, you're gonna see a lot of sicker fur curl combinations ready to go.
Wow, you're about to be sick just getting all that off, huh?
I might discuss this podcast and our entire friend group with some of the.
I'm gonna have the hoodie drip on, so I mean.
You know what I'm saying? I might have to take a couple notes from you on that one. You might have to
That's my shit,
toss
bro.
me the websites because every podcast you just be popping out with a brand new hat. So, you know what I'm saying? I got to figure out what.
I got enough hats for at least 60 episodes.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And then when we get to 60, you might have enough hats for another 60 batch of episodes. So. I don't know what else to expect from me at this point, bro. I'm kind of just riding the wave as it goes, because hopefully one day I'll be able to catch up to Cam. But I think the only person that could catch up to Cam is Cam himself.
Oh, wow.
And Zach, because Zach has a faster car than you.
No, he doesn't. Anyways, good one now.
Oh my God. I had to throw that one in there, man. Hey, coming to you live. Y'all make sure to, show some love. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a subscription. We're at 98 still as of this recording. We said in last week's episode, if you can get Ayoru to 150 and Opinionated to 500, then me and Cam will go in the opposite school colors to the November 5th showdown between Baylor and Oklahoma. Our favorite schools playing each other in Norman. I'm still going to be a man of my word. If y'all get us to 150, I will go in OU colors to Norman.
Against 500.
And
so
if y'all get Opinionated to 500, I'll get Cam a Baylor polo. He will be in there. First time in Norman with the Oklahoma hat, but a Baylor polo. And I'm going to record how he has to explain to folks while we're in Norman.
I'll be like, look, lost a bet, but it's still Boomer sooner. Hold it down all day long.
That's crazy. Hey, look, I got to be a man of my word, too, because if they get us to 150, bro, I'm going to for sure be there in some Oklahoma gear. And that, you probably going to have to drag me out of there because I'll probably pass out from just that amount of...
You might just be like, damn, it feels good to be just nice. I'm be like, I know.
To be disappointing, maybe.
No.
To lose to a school that only has 4 career wins against us. I mean, that, God. For sure. I mean, I might just pass out from the amount of disappointment I feel as an Oklahoma fan, so...
Yeah, whatever.
It is what it is, but I digress, man. You already know what it is. Green on me, because that's all we get, sir. Shout out to them Baylor boys. Shout out to them Boston Celtics. We're coming back to win the championship this year.
No, they're not.
Yes, we are. Shut up, Cam. All things being said, again, make sure y'all leave a subscription, a comment down below. Tell us what you're feeling, man. Again, we're close to that 100 subs. We're looking at doing something special for you guys if we can get there, and that's kind of in the works. You can't really say too much on that because we're still forming a little bit of an idea of how we want to handle that.
For sure.
But make sure you guys subscribe to the family, Opinionated Media, Park Car Talks, and their new show they just released as well, The Beautiful Mind of Zay. They got Fast Lanes, their short series coming. Opinionated just dropped the new 54 Yards podcast covering every college football week and what to expect. I know they're not taking any money lines or any bets because them boys will probably lose every single one. But they're a good source still of every college football week and what to expect. Make sure you're following our lovely producer and her Catch Kitchens Crafts because she's always cooking up something delectable behind closed doors. And y'all are not allowed to get any of that.
We'll be coming out with some videos.
Absolutely, bro.
Really soon.
Oh, man. Hey, look. It's all that being said, and if you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you guys leave us some stars. We're clocking out. It's your boy, Rue. I'm with that man, Juice. Hold the squeeze. And we will catch you guys in next week's episode. We appreciate you tuning in. More love, more life, and all that good stuff.
Peace, love, positive.
Y'all see the hat, boy? You know what I'm saying? Y'all see the hat. Look.
Go Georgia Tech. Fuck Clemson.
You know what I'm saying? Park Car Talks. You said what?
Yeah, we do sometimes.
I'm gonna mute him out. You have to understand. I mute out half the stuff he says.
No, I don't even cuss like that anymore.
No, I'm saying I just half the stuff you say is ignorant regardless.
Here we go. I don't even really cuss anymore on pods.
You don't have to cuss, bro.
Go watch some of the old. Just go watch some of the old OP
nonsense.
videos. If you watch some of the old OP videos and watch it now, it's like 9 days.
He speaks nonsense, so we have to cut him out. Never. You know what I'm saying? It's all right though. We still love him. He's still a star. We love you, Cam.
It's your boys from Keep It a Buck, Opinionated. I'll catch you guys next episode.
Big cozy. Watch out for the fur coats now.
Peace.